All right, welcome to the Let It Fly show. I am Mike'l Severe, joined by Josh Jones, Creighton University and Omaha Central. This is not just Let It Fly show, it's Super Bowl week.
Super Bowl Sunday.
We are only roughly, we tape this on a Tuesday.
Yep.
Tomorrow will be Wednesday when it drops. Then you got about 72, 84 hours for the game to start.
Man.
You excited?
I am, bro.
I'm more excited about the food.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm excited.
All right, give it to me.
Because I like controversy and a little bit of parody. But with what the Eagles got, man, I just, that Saquon Barkley and a couple of receivers in the O-line.
Yeah.
I just think if this is a year that somebody stop a three-peat, this is going to be it. Not saying I want the Chiefs to lose, but if they do, this is the year.
I want the Chiefs to lose. The only controversy I like was the 1981 Prince album. I'm not a fan of controversy in general. I hope it's a good game.
Yeah.
People like good games. Right. I want you to have a good game. This is our last football game.
I know.
NFL football game until early August. So we want to have a good one, but I hope.
It's been a good season.
It's been look, you can't complain about this season.
Nah.
It ended up being arguably two of the best teams. I mean, you could have said the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs. You could have said the Eagles. You could have said the Lions.
Right.
These are legitimately the two best teams in the league from the two conferences, so it makes sense.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't happen all the time, but it happened this time.
But also I feel like if the Bills did get here, it wouldn't have been the same outcome. Like, it wouldn't have been like an opportunity where I'm like, man, there's a chance they're going to win. No, I don't think so.
See, I think I like the idea of Buffalo against Philly. I think it'd have been a high-scoring shootout. It'd have been fun, and it wouldn't involve the Chiefs. So it'd have been awesome for me. I would have had no problem with that at all. Hey, I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor, which is Bud Light. No matter where you are, you're here at Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. Maybe you're the one in Elkhorn out west. You're at home. You're in your garage, wherever else. Easy drinking, easy buckets, touchdowns, spikes, and everything else throughout Nebraska. Easy to drink and easy to enjoy. We have the Let It Fly Lager right here as well on our table that you can get here, Let It Fly Sports Bar. I want to tell you about the $4 watermelon margarita made with Red Bull.
Right.
It's a Red Bull watermelon margarita. Just $4.
Yeah, right. Remember, I was low-key lit last time I tried it on here.
People love it, man.
I do.
People love it. It gets you fired up.
Right.
We're taping this on a Tuesday. We have Taco Tuesday. And then on a Wednesday, when this airs, you'll have $1 Wing Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which is awesome as well.
Chipotle
Number of different flavors. That was good.
Man.
That's a good flavor. That was a new flavor. I hadn't had that one.
I'm not going to lie.
That was really good. You know about the Let It Fly Sports Bar. Tons of TVs, great food.
Yep.
So many things going on. It's the place to hang out. You come over here on a game day. And the menu's a little limited, but still great drinks, still a very good burger that you can get.
But it's sports
really good food.
It's sports bar food.
Sports bar food, But it's to another level.
Yeah.
It's upscale.
For sure.
And I know they're adding a new menu, right?
Yes, they are.
Mike was telling us about the menu where they're going to have like a half of nachos or like a half of this. And so they're kind of catering a little bit more. People who are kind of in a hurry.
They listen to me.
They listen to you finally. Coming up on the show today, we're going to chat we had a conversation with Charlie McBride, former defensive coordinator from the University of Nebraska. We'll play that for you during this week's show. Hear from Coach, how he's doing. He was in town for the Outland Trophy because he received a special award, received the Tom Osborne Legacy Award.
Man, legendary.
That was awesome for him.
I like talking to legendary people, man, because it makes me feel like I can be great.
And they have great stories, too. They have great stories. Headline, we mentioned it, Super Bowl 59, a rematch of just a couple of years ago when we had a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. The only real big difference is Barkley with the Eagles. Everything else is pretty similar.
I feel you.
I will say that the Chiefs have a little bit more explosion, having Hollywood Brown
and they got Patrick Mahomes.
And Xavier Worthy. So you had Patrick Mahomes before. Here's the thing about their 4 Super Bowls. So they've been to 4 Super Bowls in this little run.
Yep.
3 of them they trailed at halftime.
That's facts.
And 1 of them they were tied at halftime.
Man.
So they haven't necessarily come out strong, but they've finished, obviously.
Right.
All but the Tampa Bay game where Tampa blew them out.
Right.
So it's going to be a fun game. The key, obviously, is can Barkley get off in this game. The Super Bowl has not been a game, at least recently, for running backs to get a bunch of yards. So
what about beast mode? Did he not get a bunch of yards?
No. So the last time a running back had more than 125 yards, and that's the number for Barkley this week. The last time a player had more than 125 yards in the Super Bowl, you have to go all the way back to 2003.
Man.
Got a Michael Pittman. It's been so long that Michael Pittman's son is a wide receiver in the NFL with the Colts.
Right.
So it's been a while. You don't normally get it, but we'll see if Barkley can break off a couple long runs.
Man, that's money in the bank for somebody because I know that's going to be a betting line thing.
I think that is one of the more popular ones over with Barkley. So last week it was, or against Washington it was too, and he had the big run, but he didn't have a whole lot of runs. He got banged up a little bit. He left the game. So I don't know, man. I would stay away from it personally. I think the bet would be, if you want something with Barkley, you think the Eagles are going to win. You bet the Eagles to win. You bet Barkley to win the MVP.
Right.
Because if they win this game, it's most likely him.
For sure.
I mean, it could go to Jalen Hurts. It could go to Jalen Hurts, maybe A.J. Brown, but I think it's either Hurts with some of that push touchdowns or it's Barkley.
Okay.
Either way, if you like that. And then there's a pretty good chance that Barkley doesn't score a touchdown. Odds aren't great for that. You put all three of them together, though, it's a pretty good bet.
Right.
The big news, though, headline number 2, of course, is Luka Doncic being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Resetting their legendary status.
Keep it real. When you read that, you thought Shams was hacked?
So one of the great things about Twitter, and if you're up late and something like this happens, you go through the 5 stages. So the first stage was, what? That's weird. Why would that be something that would happen? Second stage is, well, you know what? People get hacked all the time. Maybe it's hacked. Oh, my God, this is real. What'd they get for him? Oh, my God, that's horrible. So that was kind of my 5 stages. I have gotten better in the days.
Right.
Because, and I compare this to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, we've been talking about for 7-8 years. Mm-hmm. If Joel would only get in shape, and Joel would get in shape, stay healthy, have a great season, and he did the MVP season, but if Joel would only get healthy, stay in shape. We've been saying the same thing about Luka. Got to get in shape. Got to get in better shape. Got to stay healthy. He's got that calf issue. The calf issue leads to what? Achilles tear. I understand a little bit. If they want to win now, Dallas believes they can win if they have better defense. So they're bringing in a first-team all-defensive player in Anthony Davis, and they're going to try to make this run with what they have in the West. I kind of understand a little bit because you don't trust. Here's the funny part.
I'm listening.
There is nobody that knows more about what's going on in your house than you.
Facts.
Why? You live in the house.
Yeah.
There's nobody that knows more about Luka.
I'm following you.
Than the Mavericks.
I'm following you.
They know.
Hey, I think
the drinking, the late night eating.
That's what I don't think is basketball related.
No, it's not basketball related.
Okay. Yeah, we on the same page.
Besides the injury.
Yeah, but this is the thing to me. Man, I'm not going to say it's they or it's him, but he just got cost a Supermax deal. You can't get that now when you get traded.
No, he was going to get the extension for being there for his whole career.
That $100 million is gone.
It was $300. The extension was going to be $300
well, he lost $100
million. You're right. He's going to end up signing a new contract with the Lakers. So it'll be a nice one.
Because, I try to compare it to somebody. I'm like, man, that's like trading Kobe. Luka has been first team all NBA every year. That's
5 years.
Kobe didn't do that.
There's only like 4 guys ever.
Yeah, but I'm like, what happened? Like,
I think that's it. They just said to themselves, they keep asking this guy, you need to do these things for us. You need to get in shape so you can stay healthy, so you can be there. We need you to play better on defense.
And they traded his ass.
And he didn't do those things.
Crazy.
And they said, who's the one player that we can get that we think we can add to the team this year
now,
and win a championship?
I feel you.
Because the way everything works, if you need a big defensive man, the 2 choices, I think, would have been Bam Adebayo or it was Anthony Davis.
Oh,
those
for
are
the
your
Mavericks.
For the Mavericks. Those are your 2 choices, right? Yeah. People are like, they didn't get enough. If this one piece gets them to the finals and they win it, the future's different.
I think they both win.
If he gets to the Lakers and he gets a fire in his ass and he just does the right things, completely agree.
Right, and for him to be an international sensation, LA is the place you want to be for sure. So I think it is a win both ways. What I'm pissed off about, bro, is Golden State ain't made a move. They got Steph Curry.
They tried.
They got to keep trying again now because, to keep it real, man, I try to think about, Paul George, Zach LaVine, all this certain people that I wish they would have got. I just feel like Golden State with Steph Curry right now, I'm willing to give up Draymond Green to go get LeBron. Or somebody of that caliber or whatever.
I think there's a better chance that eventually they move on for Steph. Start over that way.
What?
I think so, man. I don't think there's a chance in hell
that they give up
that
Draymond?
Golden State is winning a championship.
without Draymond Green?
With anybody, with what they have right now,
No.
even if they give me somebody, add somebody to the team. So they tried to make the deal.
KD, bring him back.
They would.
That's it. He wanted a great.
KD, what is KD? 37 now?
No, 36.
He's older. He's coming off.
36.
He's had like 4 major injuries in his career.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But that's about it, though.
Then you got to get past Oklahoma City. You got to get past Dallas. You got to get past the new Lakers. Think they can do that? Get past Houston, Memphis. Are they better than any of those teams?
They better than Memphis.
They better than Memphis? Okay.
They better than L.A. Now they got Luka. They not better than L.A.
Okay. Are they better than Memphis? Memphis has played well.
Yeah, but I just kind of feel like, damn, I don't know, bro. This is tough. I don't know. I
think Golden State's run, as wonderful as it was, is over.
Nah.
It's over. So now they got to move on and start over. They got to rebuild. That's what makes the people that are mad at this thing more than anything else are the people who have hated the Lakers because the Lakers always fall into something.
True.
You can go all the way back to Wilt Chamberlain coming there, to
right.
Kareem Abdul coming there, getting Magic in the draft.
Shaq.
Even before Shaq. So you get Magic in the draft, and then you turn around and you get Worthy in the draft.
It was a coin flip, so you're right.
They
like a favorable
keep falling
thing.
into stuff. And then you mentioned Shaq and getting the trade for Kobe from Charlotte.
Right.
They just continually fall in. So now you're sitting there with a 40-year-old star. You're like, well, once he goes, what's next?
Luka.
Now it's Luka.
At least 10 years.
If he can figure out his health.
At least. Dang,
If he can figure out his health.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But the ratings ain't going to change.
It's funny you say that because one of the best things that happened to them was this controversy. Only because, if the week of the Super Bowl is pretty much all Super Bowl, right?
Right.
So they took over that for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And then as soon as the Super Bowl's over, then you have free agency ends like on Thursday. So you can have even more trades going on.
But that's an eternity in the NBA.
Well, I mean, that's it's good for storyline, I'm saying.
What's today, Tuesday? Yeah, so 2 days is like almost an eternity in the NBA. So
I don't know if there will be, but if you already looked at it, you had the Fox trade and you have other trades. They continue making some moves.
See, Golden State ain't do nothing.
They were going to bring in what's his face from Miami.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
They're bringing Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
and he said they didn't want to give him an extension, so he said no.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. College basketball, headline number 3. Creighton continues to win.
That's what it is.
They beat Villanova
off the
on
glass,
an improbable corner off the glass 3 by Ashworth.
Yeah. He shot it, though, like it wasn't off the glass.
Before that, the play before that, the save to call the timeout in the air was Jason Green made a hell of a play. That was an incredible play.
That was a game changing.
Well, the whole game, so let me give you the stat.
Yeah.
The Jays had 18 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up 25 points off turnovers. They shot just 23% from 3, and they beat Nova.
Right.
That's improbable.
I know.
That just does not happen to win the game that way.
This is like a sidebar. And Kansas is hooping. So as long as Kansas keep hooping, Creighton going good.
Helps Creighton, yep.
Man.
They're currently 35th in the net, 9-4 versus quad 1 and quad 2 teams. They are sitting at what feels like a 6 or 7
we talked about
right
that.
now. That's
you said that.
That's what they look like right now. We'll see because they've got the opportunity, obviously,
right.
to get that better.
Win it all, you'll be a 5 or a 4.
Oh, win the Big East?
Yes.
I don't know if they have the depth
to win the Big East,
to go through that whole thing, and I don't know if they want to.
Look at
I don't know if you want to.
Like a UConn got to lose early, like something like.
Sure. My thing is, do you want to go through?
Yeah.
Those 3 days, burn all that energy. And then after turn go to tournament. I don't know if you want that.
I feel that.
Winning the Big East is awesome, and winning the Big East tournament would be cool, but I don't know if you want that.
Right.
Headline number 4: Nebraska, 2 back-to-back wins, coming off of going 0-6.
That's good, bro.
Some really tough losses.
Yep.
They get the win against Illinois, then they go to Oregon, win that game. That's 4 wins now for them against teams that were ranked.
Right.
4 quad 1 wins. Right now, Lenardi and Bracketology has them at the last team in.
Out or in?
Last team in. They're 15 games against Washington, a team that's not very good. They're the bottom of the Big Ten. So
let me ask you
they
this.
got opportunity.
So with a circumstance like that, the last team in, with the record and the circumstances that was happening, do you still consider that a successful season if you're the last team in?
Yeah. If they make the tournament, they make the tournament.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, a successful season for Nebraska currently is getting in the tournament and finally winning it.
Fact.
Finally winning a game.
Winning a game.
Finally winning a game would be awesome. So they have the game against Washington. I believe that's Wednesday, the night this will air.
Yep.
And then after Washington, just kind of look at what they have in their schedule. So they got the Washington game. They come home and play a good Ohio State team, a Maryland team at home. So back-to-back. If you can win those two, you're bringing yourself closer to 500 in the Big Ten. Then you go 2 Northwestern and 2 Penn State. Maybe you split that. Maybe you win both.
Right.
Tough game against Michigan at home. Minnesota, who's playing better now. And Ohio State, Iowa.
Man.
So right now they're sitting at, 4-7, right? They're 4-7.
They can be 500.
You can get to, they can get to 7-7 or finish 10-10.
Right.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible for them. And they get, again, they're 14-8.
Right.
They get to 20 wins with 4 of those really good wins in the quad one. It's going to be enough.
Nebraska's going to ball at home on this second half of the season.
I think so.
So that's what's going to balance it out.
They balled against Illinois for sure.
Exactly.
Yep. Coming up on the show, I mentioned this earlier, great conversation with former Nebraska defensive coordinator Charlie McBride. He'll join us next here on Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly Show. We are joined by the longtime defensive coordinator of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Charlie McBride. Coach, how you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Well, I'm still alive.
Oh, my God.
Coach is in Omaha because he is receiving the Legacy Award from the Outland Trophy, which is named after Tom Osborne, his longtime coaching partner. How did it feel when they told you were getting the award?
Well, I didn't believe it, but I made a bad choice when I told my wife. I said, well, there's only 2 of us left, so and there is. I think there's only a couple of us left on that staff we had.
Well, I see George every Saturday at the game.
Yeah, George and
he's
I.
Just yelling in the press box.
George.
Catch the punt.
George was our local historian.
Yes.
Okay.
He can remember things that happen on third down and in what game you want to name, and he can do it.
That's probably what's keeping them up at night and keeping them alive still.
Well, I think that part of it, is George was always, kind of in the press box.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a big difference in our football team. I think a lot of times we had Frank up there and George and Tony Samuel, and it was they were able to, really help and we could make some adjustments quick.
Yeah.
A lot quicker than people could, because we all worked together so long and we knew each other and things like that.
Coach,
Can't do that anymore.
What drew you into coaching? I know 1977 is when you started, but everybody got different journeys to get to coaching.
Well,
what drew you?
I grew up in the south side of Chicago, and we used to pick the rocks and glass up, before we we'd get them all together and go clean the place up. And I had a coach named Bob Antonides who was in the Hall of Fame in Illinois, and he was tough. I have a couple of size 9s still stuck. And my dad used to love it, coming to practice and watch him whack me. And tell me that I was bad. And all this stuff. So I really appreciated the way even though I talk like he was bad, but he isn't. He was very, understanding in a lot of ways. And he was a funny guy. We got in shape by wrestling. He was in the Navy, and he taught combatives in the Navy. So we'd have to wrestle him once in a while, and that was tough on our bodies. And I won't tell you what parts, but if you got a hold of him, it was. But he was the one that probably you wanted to be like him.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I made my mind up. My aunt or my grandmother wanted me to be. She was a nurse and took me into the doctor's office. And in those days, they, did a lot of tonsillectomies and things like that. And I saw some blood, and I said I didn't want to be a doctor. That's about the way it went,
Right.
But with coaching, I think it was, our neighborhood was all athletics. We lived across the street from a park.
Okay.
And it was baseball, basketball, football, whatever it was all these guys together. And we had a YMCA down, and actually we were in 4th grade playing 7th graders.
Oh, wow.
Because we didn't have enough. We wanted to play,
right.
they said, well, okay.
Yeah.
So that was wonderful. Yeah. They talk about losing.
Right. Yeah.
So I learned to lose there.
Yeah.
But, it was a good. We had the Catholic League and the Public League in Chicago, and it wasn't done by numbers.
Right. Okay.
In school, it was done by wins and losses. And
what do you mean by that?
Pardon?
So you're saying like
instead of it being the population of the school?
Yeah.
It was actually how many you won the next year after you played?
How many you won. And it's a red, white, and blue division, and the red was at the top.
Okay.
Well, we were involved with CVS, which is Chicago Vocational, where Butkus went to school, and Lane Tech, and they had 3,000 boys, and they had about 3,000. Wow. They had 1,000 in each one of their graduating classes, and we had about somewhere under 100.
Wow.
It's
like Class B school.
Class D school.
Yeah. But we had the right people.
That's
and it was really funny because we were down in Soldiers Field playing in the city playoffs, and we're down there here, a little bunch of guys standing in in kind of a group. And Lane Tech came out of their stadium. They went all the way around the field. All of them. And they finally got to the door on the other side, and it ended.
Yeah.
And so we, and they were all big.
Yeah.
But that was good.
Yeah.
That was better for us.
Teach you a lot. Charlie McBride joining us here on Let It Fly show. So talk to us how you ended up in Nebraska. Because coaching, man, especially back then, the amount of movement guys would do and all the moving with traveling. How did you end up at Nebraska?
Right.
I don't know.
I looked up and 18 years later.
Well, I was at Wisconsin with John, and John told me that he had heart trouble, and he's passed since. And he had a heart replaced, and it lasted okay. But anyway, he said, start looking.
Okay. And
I went down to Miami and took my wife, happened to be with me, which was probably the best thing because I got a phone call and it was Tom. Okay, but if anybody's talked to Tom on the phone, they know that he's real quiet.
It takes a while.
He wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I wasn't really looking for a job. I was kind of just. I felt like I should stay there almost. But anyway, I got a phone call, and he said, "Well, this is Coach Osborne calling." And I said, "Yeah, right."
Somebody else, a player.
I had to say it about 2 or 3 times because I thought it was one of my buddies, pulling my chain.
Right.
And he said, "I have 15 minutes left, and before I have another interview, would you come down?" And he said, "I'm in 2:15, and you're in 3:15, so just come down the steps and in the door."
Just talk.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
We just talked for about 15 minutes, and when the door knocked, and I left, and
you were done. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he asked me if I wanted to go out to dinner, and I said, "Well, I have my wife," and he said, "Oh, good." He said, "I have to do some recruiting. I'll be back about 8:00. Meet me out in front." So we stood out on the curb, and he said, "No, where would you like to go?"
Where'd you go?
Denny's.
There you go.
That's perfect.
And my wife says to this day, we went in there, and all we did was see you drawing on napkins, and nobody ate anything.
Yeah, right. That's the passion. You knew right there at Denny's.
But it was really funny because that's the first time I had met Tom that day, and he said that night, he said, would you like the job? And actually, I was stepping down. I was defensive coordinator. I was the offensive line coach. It was up till my last year at Wisconsin, and then they fired the defensive coordinator, and then the head coach called me. The secretary had said, "Coach Jardine wants to talk to you."
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I am going now, And he went in there and said, "We're going to make you the defensive coordinator."
Wow.
And you got a lot of help. We had some good coaches. They all Ohio State guys and pro guys that were on the staff then. They ended up being that. And so it was a good deal that year, but it was a thing where we really played. We really had a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
In fact, Woody was mad at me, and Woody was my dad's friend, and they were friends in college. And Well, he's an interesting guy. I don't know if you've ever met him. Dad says, you want to be a graduate assistant? He said, write Woody. So I wrote him, and I didn't get a letter back. And so at the end of school here, I went to check my mailbox, and there was a letter from Ohio State.
Wow.
And it said, Dear Chuck, no, Woody.
Not a man of a lot of words.
That isn't the worst one. The worst one was the one where we were playing down there.
Did you ball it up? Or you?
Yeah, I was at Wisconsin, and we had a kid that was a first-round draft choice. So I started the day out right with knowing that he was going to be playing.
Right.
And his name was Dennis Lick, and from St. Rita in Chicago, and he asked me to if I'd give his parents some tickets, and I was so shook up. I bought the game and everything. I forgot them.
Wow! No.
So I don't know what kind of trouble it is, but I got out of it pretty easy.
Wow.
But anyway, Woody said. He was standing on the side, and I was a young coach. He says, hey, McBride, are you as dumb as your old man was? You're kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, right.
I kind of like
wave it off,
And he said, he said something about, we'll see you in a little while or something. Well, we scored in 3 plays. Nice. They kicked off. And Woody was over on that, and it's cold out, and everybody's got their coats on and all that stuff. And Woody's got a white shirt, short sleeve white shirt, and a tie, and that's all. Well, he had pants on.
I hope so. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, the score at the end of the game was 56-7. So, when the game was over, you shake hands with the head coach.
Yeah.
Well, he came right at me.
I figured.
He says, I just wanted to tell you one thing, McBride. You are as dumb as your old man was. So I figured, maybe I don't want to be a coach after all.
Oh, that's funny. That's awesome. Coach, Outland Trophy, before we let you go, Outland Trophy is an amazing award. It's great to have it here in Nebraska. Last time somebody won back-to-back was Nebraska doing it. Shows you what Nebraska's lines were back then. If you were going to pick one player off of your defense to say that's a Nebraska defensive player, who'd you pick?
Oh, boy. That's really hard. I don't know how to do that. I don't think.
Everybody always says Grant.
But, there's so many kids.
So many, I know.
But the guy, it's really funny and I've always said this since that when you teach, you're a teacher, and when you teach, some guys get it and some guys don't right away.
Right.
And this guy got it right every time. He plus he was tough, and he wasn't very big, but considering nowadays, and he's got a $4.5 million house, so what he's doing. He's working in Washington, D.C. with a couple of guys. But Rob Stuckey from Lexington here. And it was funny because when I went out there and recruited him, I was involved. His brother was a walk-on at the time. Mm-hmm. And when I went out there, there were like 4 mailboxes. Stuckey.
Yeah.
So now I'm going like, which door?
Right.
Well, I was wrong the first time. She said, you're here to see Rob, and they went down there. But he was, he was the kind of guy that got stuff right away. And, if you could see the Auburn game, when, in fact, that was the first game Bo Jackson played in.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. He was something.
This is 1980?
I don't even remember.
Okay, I can respect that.
I remember you guys played Auburn a couple times. Right?
Yeah, but he was, he was a special kid. He real quiet, and if you know him, he's very smart, articulate, good, quiet guy.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And then when he puts his uniform on, he's a very bad person.
Yeah. It'd have been 1983 is when it would have been.
I got one more for me. Yeah. So winning the 3 national championships, 94, 95, 97. Mm-hmm. What do you think set the three teams apart? And do you honestly believe that which Huskers, what they say, is it 96?
95.
95 Huskers
greatest.
are the greatest team ever. So it's like a two-part question.
Well,
what separates the three teams apart?
The 95 team was, when you add Lawrence to it, it makes it a little better, thing. I mean, Lawrence was a difference maker, but I think we'd have won the game still. But I think what it set it apart. I don't think anything. I think it was a group of guys. The nucleus was still there.
Yeah.
Both years.
Yep.
I mean, and Wiegerts and those guys, and they used to get, tell people, where the play's coming.
You're gonna go,
yeah. But anyway, that's when we got there, it was. But we knew Tom when they 94.
Yeah.
Well, we knew when we got in there, and he if you could be in there and listen to what he said, is exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's like we're gonna wear him down.
He scares me.
He's a prophet.
This guy's, but I think that all of those teams were good. I want the Wistrom. Peter, and who's the third? There's three of them are for sure all played in all of them.
Right. I'm trying to figure that out. Honestly, most people I talk about played at least two of them.
So Christian played in two. Jason played in all three. Grant played in all three. And then on the defensive line.
And there was somebody else too and I'm going to get.
I'll
remember when
you walk out. Yeah. I apologize for that.
Sure.
Coach, we really appreciate it. Congratulations on the Tom Osborne Legacy Award. That's really awesome.
100%.
And we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. Man, it was great chatting with Charlie McBride.
I told you, man. Yep. Like hearing legendary people say legendary things make me feel legendary.
Yeah, no doubt. He, as I mentioned, he was in town a couple of weeks ago to win that award, and it was awesome. I went there that night, and he was so thankful. He talked for about 15, 20 minutes, talked about his family, in terms of the players that he coached.
Right.
And then the cool thing was, after it was all over, there were about – I want to say there's probably 12 former Huskers there, maybe a few more than that, and they all lined up around Charlie. He had this big old smile on his face. It was really cool.
Dang.
It was really cool for him to be able to be a part of that. Coach Osborne, of course, introduced him, told a story about how the Dallas Cowboys had come for Coach McBride, and he decided to stay and be a – remember with the Huskers.
I would have been out. Was that the year when the Cowboys was the Cowboys?
Actually, it was the last year of Tom Landry. So that would have been 89, 88.
Word.
Which not a good year.
Okay.
That was a bad year for them.
All right, okay.
That was a bad year. I think they went 1-15 that year. It was not good.
I wouldn't have been out.
But, going to the pros, they pay more. But he ended up staying, and he became a legend, like you said.
Dang.
Became a legend. Special thanks to Charlie McBride for being on the show with us. Also, thank you to, let's get on my executive producer, Michael Allen, who runs the building we are in.
Yep.
Technical director, Caleb. He's right there. And then, of course, video coordinator, Dion, who helps out as well, getting stuff done always. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Bud Light. No matter where you are, enjoy your Bud Light. It's easy to drink and easy to enjoy. Check them out. Bud Light, easy to drink and easy to enjoy. And don't forget our YouTube channel. Spotify, Apple, wherever you're looking for it.
Yep.
When you go there, subscribe, like, all that stuff. So to help us out.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff to help us out. No doubt about that. Follow the podcast wherever you can.
Right.
And when you come down here, don't forget, get yourself one of those Red Bull watermelon margaritas.
Right.
Because people love them. I don't drink, but I heard they're good.
Yeah.
Josh, take us away.
Hey, Josh Jones here with Mike'l Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.